force coming from the backside.
Right. Although I would say that the curve,
vertical,
you know, led by. I've never seen led by written
Fair
in
enough,
any other way
yeah.
except. But the general idea of, you know, what it, you know, how do I could certainly we've reversed and done that now. Oops, kind of thing. The other thing is, you know, the arrow. Two other things. A dot also means and in this case it's valid. Something lower, like the lower part of my palm, right? Mm-hmm. The lower part of my torso. It doesn't necessarily relate to I mean, one way we use it is to show that this is in relationship to gravity, but it also refers to things that are lower in whatever part you're talking about, and as I say, the bottom part of the palm, right? Or we do it in the face, you know, they're all different ones.
Right.
When we talk about surfaces, when we're talking about a lower surface,
right?
That's the lower surface.
Which in this case is valid, because you're talking about something to do with the lower part of the body as a whole, right?
No, well, this is Cadence. Not necessarily. I think that, you know, in the way that we teach yield, push, reach, pull, I mean, I could yield and push from an upper surface in my body too.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right. So I can see that. So when I'm thinking about this symbol and trying to relate to it in terms of what it means, I'm going to think that it has something to do with gravity, that's how that big black dot is being, you know, what is communicating in the symbol. And for me, I mean, because if I think that it means lower, then I'm again mistaking the whole idea of what we mean, and we get bogged down on and ruining the whole idea of keeping it open to different possibilities.
I understand this idea that you're talking about. It needs to be applicable across instances. However, I think this is true of English as well, and that within the context, we know what it's saying, what way we are using it. In English, you know that strong, for instance, can be used to mean good, as in a strong dance, or, you know, all those things. And so you have to find...
Or it can mean angry, you know, other...
Now, since we're at time at this point, I think we should make a conscious decision. Do we want to continue with this topic or go on to the next topic? Because we're at the time we said we designated. We could still stay with the topic, but...
I think we should continue because this is much more important to our ongoing recording of what our students need to know.
Okay.
Big part. And my part many years ago when I wrote a paper that's called "And What About Symbols?" is that every concept we teach should have a symbol, because if we teach it, we feel it's important.
Okay, great. I feel that's good.
Sure.
The rest of the group feel okay with going on with this?
That's fine.
Yeah,
Yes.
sure.
Everybody? Okay, good. So we'll continue talking about this. So then arrow in motif notation and in lava notation means motion. And is that what you were thinking of? You know, so for example, and what letter is this?
Yes.
S, yes, S.
Here, F.
S is in
S
Sam.
as in Sam. Okay, S. What was I saying? All right,
Arrow
so
means
The arrow
motion.
means motion.
all right, so in okay, there's this or S, and then I'm gonna make
Floor plan.
in a floor plan and guess to come up with this. Right, S T U Okay, now, these are some symbols that is there any other way you can think, well, 3 is enough. Okay, so it means motion. And I'll show you how it means motion, and then you can say whether or not you think that this fits into the use in here. All right, so the first one, what is the letter? S, means I'm going forward using a destination, using a motion versus a destination perception, like we use in the shape quality symbol. So when I'm talking about direction, right, and I go from here to here, right. Oh, I meant that to be a forward. So let's say that was a forward sign, okay? All right, if I just have a plain vanilla direction sign, I'm doing a destination, I end up forward.
Yes.
Okay? No, it should be, my example is wrong.
Here it's now corrected with a forward sign.
Well, let's see, to go forward. All right, yeah, then I'd have to do it this way. All right, so if I go like this, okay? Do you see what I did?
Yes.
All right. That a plain vanilla right diagonal right
Right forward?
would end up being a plain vanilla. I end up being diagonal. You got it? In other words, I'm destination. If I'm doing motion, I'm saying I'm going forward in the way that we use in the way that we analyze shape quality symbols.
Yep, makes sense. Yeah.
Okay? So that's
Not shape quality, but just the shape of the symbol. Is that what you're talking about?
no, I mean, like if you were to, my
It's the
terminology.
process. It's the process of moving rather than the destination.
Right. Then my motion of going there is I'm moving on the diagonal. The way we tend to, right? I'm moving on a diagonal, right? The way we analyze the scales. Does that make sense to you? Everybody understand what I'm on?
Yeah. So basically, by having the arrow in there, you make it a vector of motion rather than
Exactly.
just a
The center of the cross of axis is here and not here. I mean, there's a whole thing again, but that's what that use of the arrow in a direction sign means, that it is a motion versus destination analysis of direction. The use of the arrow in a floor plan, we all know, right? That it means,
Yes.
all right? The use of the arrow in the last sign, even though it's going downward, what Ann Guest wrote in your move is that it's a fall, but not a true fall, like a Graham fall. You know, you say I'm going to go down to the ground, but it's not a fall. It's not a true fall because you go to the ground, but you never lose balance. So she uses it she puts it down, and that's but it has the idea of you go motion to the ground, right? Even though it's not a fall.
The way we talk about it.
Pardon?
A direction downward.
Right.
It's slow.
Right, but it's not, but even though it's written like a fall sign, right? It's not a true fall in the sense that we use it. So anyway, getting back to the point, that's the meaning of an arrow, and I suspect, and you can tell me, that the arrow in your symbols has kind of the same.
Definitely, yeah, definitely has that motion idea.
Yes, that's one of the reasons it seems logical to me, as well as perhaps pictogrammic, whatever it is.
Right. Well, it's throughout the system. I mean, an arrow means going
Direction. Go. Yeah.
little kids understand. They like that one. I say it's like an arrow. Do you have any other thoughts about that? Anybody?
I think it's a good symbol. That's why we like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it.
This is my first time seeing them today because I had seen a slightly mirror image of those that I had been quite attached to, but now that I see these, and I also like the way they work all together. You know, when you put the push, and reach, pull. Like it makes this compact little capsule. It's nice and tidy.
H, you mean? G and H?
G
I
and H.
believe so, yeah.
Or
I guess
S?
my question would be, Colleen and Peggy, because of your G and H, you're presenting possibly two versions, and so I'm assuming if the curved line, oh sorry, this is Cadence. I'm assuming if the curved line is separate from the circles or on the circles, that would apply throughout the whole symbols, right? All of them. Is there a reason why you presented those two options, and is one more preferable to you at this point, having the curved line on the circle or having the curved line separated from the circle?
Or is there meaning to the difference?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Good question.
Because we talked.
The only reason I suggested that we possibly might use it on the circle is for quickness of writing. And my reservation of putting that there, and also for space, I think in a LABA notation score, space is a very important consideration.
Well, also it can be confused with other being linked to something else if it's not attached.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely less ambiguous if it's attached.
The problem with it being attached, any of you have your LABA notation books with you, but in both LABA notation.
Symbology, it's part of N symbology. So
Yeah,
this would
and
be a different use of the word.
well, to her dynamic signs, and even though you might say, oh, poo, we don't use those, you know what I mean? Well, I'm here to tell you, and I've heard LABA notators say that, why are you using that? Because that's not what we need. And I've been at the element, well, why do LABA notation people write it that way, you know? Why aren't they listening to us? Because this is what we, you know what I mean? And in my great desire as a lover of both communities, I don't want to be split up like that. I want to, and symbols, as we know, can do that to you. It can
Oh, yeah.
lit you
Good,
up.
good, what is it? Good symbol debates start fights in bars.
There you go. So, to me, to come up with a way, why not come up with something that doesn't conflict with something that's already in this, the LODC people, they have zillions of people, that they're teaching. They use that dot on dynamic signs. That's what they teach, and then those people are going to come to Lynn's and,
Oh, by the
Okay.
way, I also have two other symbols just to mention. V and W, the old and the current versions of design drawing. One has the arrow, one has the symbol similar to what you're doing, but this is not in use anymore. This is the use.
And would you explain the thing that would get one into a fist fight with a LABA notator? What is it? Was it the touching, the circle touching the arc, or not touching, or what was the example?
I'll give you an example. I mean, look, I'm as Peggy said, stop. It's hyperbole. I'm gonna. Not always, though. There's a lot of passion. But I'll give you
what the symbol was you were referring to.
I will
the
give you
LABA
an
notator.
example, and it was resolved, by the way, by a wonderful, I don't even know her name, brought this up with Peggy the other day. What letter is this?
X.
X? QRXT, what's it comes to?
XY. XYZ.
XYZ. I had to go through my A, B, C, D. Okay, the person that came up with the solution was one of your students.
Whose students?
Yours.
Peggy's?
One of the students in the IMS program.
Did they call us M's?
IMS.
Go ahead, tell us which.
All right, what it is.
Okay.
All right,